What's up, family? It's your boy Benny Blanco, aka Mr. Shot of Cali. I know a lot of you have been questioning, the people that have been following my Printify versus Printful videos. You've been asking, have I picked between the two yet, and why did I pick the ones that I picked? So I will say that I definitely did pick between the two, and I completely stopped using Printful. No, I'm sorry, I stopped using Printify. I just couldn't rely on the products that they were giving. So I know one of, I forgot who it was, Usher, I think it was. I think a few people were saying it, but said that I need to change the issue was the color matching between RGB and the CM whatever. So I did that, and I was still having, it wasn't so much as just the coloring, it also just kind of looked faded all the time. So it always looked like the color just wasn't, it just didn't look good. It didn't look professional. So so what I found myself doing was ordering lots of sample products, like all the shirts I was making that were had a lot of different colors and stuff. I would find myself buying sample products of those clothes because I just wanted to make sure that it looked good enough to ship out. And it just was becoming expensive in that way of just buying all these products over and over just to make sure the product that I was going to send to my customers was going to be good enough, to give to them. And I don't have that issue at all with Printful. I've never had a color issue, not one time with Printful. Everything's always vibrant, it looks very professional. So I just didn't want the stress of dealing with Printify anymore. So it's kind of bad because now Printful doesn't have hoodies and sweatshirts, and that was a nice part of my business. I had hoodies and sweatshirts, but I just don't want to send customers anything that I wouldn't want to wear myself. So I had to get rid of that. So a lot of it has to come off my site, sweaters. But the good thing is Printful does have hats, and they do have leggings, so that can stay on my site as well. But Printify, I just had to suck it up. The price difference is a big loss for me because Printful is a lot more than Printify. But I would rather put quality over quantity. So that's the verdict on that. So, sorry, my Printify fans. I know a lot of people was rooting for it, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't deal with the quality issues. And the way that Printify is set up, it could just be the supplier that I was using through Printify, because if you know Printify, all Printify does is middleman through other shops. So I actually reached out to the shop that I was getting most of my stuff from. So it could be just that shop is not as good. Maybe if I paid a little bit more and used I forgot what the name of the other shop was on Printify that was in America, because they have like a lot of the shirts I use, the Bella Canvas, they have 2 or 3 suppliers. I think one's in Europe somewhere, and the other 2 are in America. And I usually go with the lower price one, of course, because they have more colors and everything. But those are the ones I've been having issues with, and so it could very well be that if I tried the other supplier, maybe the quality will be a lot better. They do cost maybe a 50 cent more, so I might now that I'm thinking about it, I'm literally just thinking about it now. I might actually try one one practice run with the other supplier and see where that goes. So I might have to do a video number 3. So, but as of now, I'm just running with Printful right now. So I know a lot of people have been asking that, but as of right now, I dropped Printify and I'm rolling with Printful, and I might do a practice run with the other shop on Printify, and I'll let you guys know which shop that is because I don't want to say it'll be easy to figure out, but I don't want to discredit the shop that I was using and I'm not getting the good results because I just don't want to. I don't want to put that negative energy out there because this video is going to go that way in a second. I'll be talking about something else, but I don't want to say that they suck as a shop. But I'll try the other shop that's connected to Printify, and I'll let you guys know which shop that is, and you guys can use them once you see the products. So besides that update, I actually wanted to talk about hats. Well, not necessarily hats, but I was going to do hats, and I needed leather patches for my hats. So like anything, I Googled leather patch suppliers and yada yada yada, and I came across a company called The Studio. So I did a little investigating on The Studio. They had good reviews. Everything seemed really good. A lot of great reviews. The products looked good. So I went and asked for a quote for some leather patches for my hats that I was doing. So I'll go kind of show you guys this little rundown of what happened. So, all right, around September 1st, I first started. You guys can kind of go through these. Nothing really important right here. But around November 1st, actually prior to November 1st, I reached out to the studio, and what happened was the person I reached out to initially and got a quote from, they just vanished, like literally just disappeared. I was waiting for they gave me a quote, initial quote, and I changed something on it. I think I wanted a smaller size, and then the person vanished, and a couple of weeks went by, and then I reached out to them, and then a couple of days went by, and then they replied, and they were like, oh, the person's gone, I'll assign another person to you. So this is the second person, Andrea, or Andre, whatever, how you say this, Andre, I don't know. So I got the second person right. So everything was going good. Let me see. Okay. That should work. I was thinking about 1.5 inch circle patches, yada yada yada. I wanted a quote for black leather and brown leather. I clearly said that in the thing. She gives me a price with burn effect because it was getting embossed with burn effect on a patch. She says emboss or deboss plain or any color of leather. She gave me a price for it. Very, very reasonable prices. Very cheap actually, because a lot of places they charge you like a setup fee and all kind of stuff. So they were really cheap and they look like they did quality work. So that's why I reached out to them. Where are my samples? All right, I gotta find my samples. So. She gave me a price for that. I wanted 50 pieces because I didn't want to do a large order until I saw how good they did. So everything went good. I gave them the color, and they were supposed to do the way it was set up. Well, on the site, what it said that I would pick the patches, the color, yada yada yada. Then they would do a mock-up, and then from that mock-up, I would say, okay, that the font, everything looks good, and then they would do another mock-up, final mock-up or whatever. And the final mock-up, and it doesn't detail what what the process is on the site. So I was thinking the final mock-up would be just one patch, and the actual leather patch, and then after that it will go off and ship. So, I got the invoices, and I said, all right, let's go ahead. I sent the payment and everything, and I was waiting. So waiting for them to, after they sent the first mock-up, I was waiting for them to give me the second mock-up, and then I was gonna okay it. That looks good, and do the rest of them and then send them. So what ended up happening was they did the first mock-up, and I said okay, and I paid the invoice. But they never did the second mock-up, which was the final mock-up. The first mock-up, they said was the final mock-up. So I never actually saw the leather color. I never actually saw what the real leather looked like. It was just a 3D mock-up like on Photoshop. That's all I got to see, which, okay, that's good to start with, but before you ship something to me, I should see the finished product. So what happened was they did the mock-up and they did the order and they sent it to me. I never really saw the color, and when I saw that they had shipped it off to me, which was very fast, very efficient. When they shipped it off to me, I reached out to them. I'm like, yeah, you never let me see the final product. I never got to see what the patches looked like finished. So I don't know if they're the right color. I don't know how well the font looks on the actual patch, because your Photoshop might look different. So the person, I can't remember who it was, and I don't have email traffic on that simply because it was straight through the site. So I never got a transcript from that. So what ended up happening, the patches came, and I'm looking for, I don't know where these patches are right now. I will say shipping was fast. They don't reply that quick. It takes a while to get communication. Really sucks with them. So anyway, the lady or man, I can't remember if it was a lady or man, they told me once the patches come, if I don't like them, if I want to change anything, let them know. I have like a week to send them back, or say I have an issue with them. So I'm like, okay, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm not rushing too much, but mind you, this process was going on almost a month and a half, 2 months, just from me waiting 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there for the person that left to respond, waiting for this person to respond. It was just ridiculous. So but I usually give people benefit of the doubt. I try not to complain too much. So the patches come. So these are my Fuego patches. Now I don't know if you guys can really see what this look like. Fuego. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys can see the quality of it. It's not leather. It looks nothing. Come on. It looks nothing like leather at all. It looks horrible. If you saw this on someone's head, you would not think this was leather. And in all the email traffic, except for one little line on my final invoice, it says leather everywhere. Leather. And I didn't notice this one line on my invoice, and it said Faux leather, Faux leather. So because of that one little line, I was like, okay, I didn't see that line. Everywhere else says just regular leather. So I reached out to him. I'm like, what is this? The whole conversation we had, we talked about leather, real leather, not Faux leather, not fake leather. So why did you guys send me these patches? Why didn't you send me finished product pictures? Why didn't you do any of this? Now this was, unfortunately, I don't have transcript for that either, because it was on the little messenger for the websites. You go on there and then you could talk to someone right there and there. So it was through that. So I don't have proof of transcript, but I do have a little bit of our transcripts after that. I think it starts right about here. So Andrea or whatever, this was the same person I had before. She was helping me again, or he told me to pick the correct leather, and they was gonna fix it. So I picked Real Leather 23, whichever one that was. So what ended up happening was, after I picked the leather and I sent her the email, they literally just stopped responding to me. 2 weeks went by, I didn't get a response. I sent the email, what's going on with the order, are there any issues? No response. I went to the website, sent a couple of messages, no response. I did a review online. You know, they have some of the places where you can review businesses. Nobody ever reached out to me from there. What else did I do? I waited a few more weeks. I even I even signed up with a fake email to see if they would respond to me. Once they found out it was me, they stopped responding. So the studio simply just act like little kids. Like, I've never had a business where they just simply won't respond to you. I've never seen that happen before. And honestly, if they would have just said, all right, you messed up, you should have saw the fox leather in the beginning, it's your fault, and we're not going to give you your money back, or we're not going to we're not going to redo your patches for free or whatever. And I was willing to pay the difference between the fox leather and the real leather price. But they just simply ignored me, and constantly have been ignoring me since. So I would highly recommend not using these guys if you ever need leather work done. And it was really weird because they have such good reviews. I don't know if these are paid reviews. I know you can do that a lot now, but it was really disheartening that they just absolutely just ignored me since for the last month and a half. I haven't reached out to them recently, but it's been a while, and I've been wanting to make this video. Hopefully no one else will go through that. Very unprofessional, and I really don't see how their reviews are so high based on the service I got. So that's all I really got on this one, you guys. I don't know if anyone is out there trying to do leather work, but if you guys have any recommendations, you can send them to me in comment section or whatnot. But that's all I got on this one. It's your boy Blanco. I'm out. Peace.